Okay. Hey guys, I'm going to do a quick recording for youth football programs using Tully. So I've been working with the Tully platform for a couple of months now, mostly focusing on high school aged programs. Great for college programs too, but my wheelhouse is mostly high school. But the more I've been talking to the youth programs, I think it can end up being a really good place um, to try this technology. It's more affordable because it's only over a smaller period of time, so you wouldn't have to do the full year membership. And I think it's really important for a few reasons. Really, when you're looking at kids who are playing youth football, a lot of times they don't get the same rewards. They're kind of, a small group of kids who maybe hit a growth spurt really early, get most of the rewards on the field as far as playing time, as far as, um, their name in the paper, that kind of stuff. So just trying to look for ways to improve practice, have coaches feel more comfortable with a plan for the entire practice time, and to give kids as many positive bursts of confidence as we can. And I think in the form of strength and speed, that can be a really good thing. So here's what Tully looks like for anybody that's interested in it. I'll just show you the way that I've put it through with my high school players for now, and then we can talk about how it works with youth. So here's the main dashboard, right? If I just click on the main dashboard of my coaching account, it's going to tell me my athletes. I can add emails and all that stuff, and kids can check in on their phone. Average improvement over the last 30 days is 2%, which 110 kids, if you know that they're going up that much, that's pretty good. And then how many data points you've collected in the last 30 days as well. So that stuff's great. And then my favorite part, at least for the high school group, let me see if I can get myself, for the high school group, is the Tully Scores. The Tully Scores are really a simplified way to give a kid some feedback based on a combination of all of their speed, strength, and any other metrics you want to check on. We could go by a big point system. I've used that before, but it's kind of nice to have the algorithm that can just kind of give them a 1 to 100 score based on their performance compared to the other kids. But it's all delivered in a way that isn't a cutthroat negative thing. It can absolutely be a healthy way to motivate each other. So the Tully Scores are going to be the big things that I think can give kids a really good set of positive feedback. In here, we can, for the coaches, they can see what's been submitted most recently and check-ins and stuff. At the youth level, really parents are going to have the athlete's account, and they won't need to do much. They can just look at how their kid's doing and show them. I wouldn't recommend sharing it on their phone or anything like that. High school kids, they'll put in data on their own. It's kind of a different level. I would say right away, as we talk about data entry, I would just have the coaches do it, and then have them, do little screenshots, do little shout outs on your team communication app, whether you use SportsU, Sports Engine, Remind, Slack. I've heard a few more, but whatever you use, I would recommend just having the coaches put out a little bit here and there. Everybody doesn't need to see everybody's business, I guess, but it's nice to know where you stand. Hey, I used to be last week when I checked in, I was 84, and now I'm an 86. This is actually my account, so I do feel good. I know I actually wasn't 84 last week. I put in a couple good scores this week, and I'm competing with all these high school kids, and hopefully I can hang with them. But anyway, that's kind of what they would see, just their own score. They would not see this. We could share the top 10 with them if we wanted, or a certain population we could share if we wanted, but we don't need to. So, second thing I'll show you is our metrics. So we can add in any metrics we want. Okay, I'm gonna try moving up here now so you can see everything. So we can add any metrics we want. We can code it any way we want. We can put it into categories. Your program might want to do a 20-yard dash or a 40-yard dash. You can put in whatever you want, and then just put it into a program, and it'll it'll be it'll be those metrics that get factored into the Tully score and get factored into all the spreadsheets that you can export to show improvement and all those things. So I have a bunch of things here because I'm working with high school kids. I have some health things in here, but anything you don't want the kids to do, they don't have to do. You just set it up so that it's appropriate for their age range. For example, I'm probably not going to be checking on, I'm definitely not on a regular basis going to check in on weight and waist circumference and that kind of stuff. I might give those younger kids a quick heads up on some health things, but I'm certainly not going to make that the priority. I'd rather show them once, give them a little bit of background information, and then just keep reminding them to eat well at home and hydrate and sleep well and all that stuff. Whereas, grown-ups, sometimes we handle that stuff a little bit better. But what I would definitely test is the following. I'll show you my idea of what would be a pretty good set of exercises for a youth program that would pretty much have to happen at practice. I of course, if a kid is training with their own trainer, that's great. But what I'm trying to do is have something that is safe enough for someone who isn't a certified strength and conditioning coach. We have to keep them in their scope of what's safe, but what's still something that is worth measuring. So for my metrics here that I would measure, obviously, at the beginning of the year, I would like to know a kid's weight, their waist circumference, to just get a basic health baseline. And it might not be what they want to hear at the beginning, but if they're only hearing it once and then they see it mostly going in the right direction, I think that's a really nice boost to teach them that they're in control of those things. Second block here that I have it set up as is more of our strength stuff. I have a few things that are lifetime strength type of movements or events, and then I have a few that are a little bit more football based. But if we look through our strength movements, holding a 2-minute push-up plank is really valuable. For the adults in the room, see if you can hold a 2-minute plank at the top of a push-up. If you've lost that ability, I would suggest getting it back. I think it's a really good basic measure of, am I feeling a little bit older? Am I a little bit out of shape? Those kind of things. It's a good, reasonable thing to be able to do. Being able to do a standing long jump of your height or more. As adults, a lot of us lose this pretty quickly, and for kids, I want to make sure we get that established as soon as possible. They don't have to set Olympic records, but I'd like them to be able to long jump their height. Really good measurement of their explosiveness and speed and strength. Farmer walking their body weight. We might not be able to get to this the same way, depending on what equipment most youth programs could get out there. So I have a couple backups, like a heavy bag 40-yard dash or a tire flip event, things that are more typically out on a football field. But if you do have access to hex bars and trap bars and those kind of things you'd find in the weight room, teaching someone how to do a safe deadlift and then hold that at the top and being able to walk with that weight. For example, I weigh 250, so I would have to, carry 250 pounds, 50, 100 yards, something like that is sort of the idea. And, for the little guys, it might only be 70 pounds, those kind of things. But I don't think that's not overly, complex. That's a pretty simple thing that, if they were working in the yard, they'd probably be doing some pretty similar things, carrying a wheelbarrow, that kind of thing. And so it's pretty good for the youth guys to play with that without having to worry about perfect form with, weighted squats or weighted deadlifts. They'd have to learn how to pick it up once, but mostly just walking with it. Grip strength is a great lifetime measurement. I debated between putting that as a lifetime strength thing or a regular strength. Grip strength, huge determinant of longevity and long-term strength and the quality of your nervous system. So improving that grip strength is a great place to start. And it's also another very safe one that kids will want to compete with. That's something where if you hand out a grip strength, they call it a dynamometer. If you hang that out and you tell kids, hey, let's see who the strongest grip strength is, you'll have trouble getting that thing back in the next 10, 15 minutes because they'll just keep testing it. So that's some of the lifetime strength stuff, the basic strength ideas. And then this block C is called the functional movement screen. That one, I'll have you guys just look it up now. I mean, I can go into a longer video on that, but the functional movement screen that's how I would teach beginners how to move, how to do a lunge, how to stand on one foot, how to do the overhead squat with their hands above their head. That is an excellent, very basic set of movements that will give you a lot of answers. I think it's a really good one to put kids through on a consistent basis and see, hey, how's their balance? How are their imbalances from one side to another? So the functional movement screen has 6 to 7 movements. They are not weighted. It's all done with your body weight. So that's one that I wouldn't necessarily input that into Tully, but I would put it on the workout to use as a warm-up or use as a consistent check. We could score it if we were in a physical therapy or an occupational therapy office. They do have a scoring system of it. I'm not sure I would dive into that too much, especially if you're not certified in it. But if you use the eye test and just have them practice it, I think it will eventually, they'll get better in all those movements, which lay the foundation for everything else. One other strength one that I put in separate is just our pull-ups. So if you can get an outdoor pull-up station with the bar, I think that's a great one because you can always measure their pulling ability. And we can find another way to pull if we need to, but I think pull-ups are the best. So I think the biggest thing for your organization is making sure that you have some sort of the outdoor pull-up bar. And then the last thing that I think I would record on a regular basis is the 10-yard start, the 10-yard fly, the pro shuttle, and then what we call the truck stick. So I'm not sure the youth kids need to do the 40-yard dash. It might take a long time. I think you get a lot of the same answers out of seeing their 10-yard start get better by 100th of a second. And same thing with their 10-yard fly. So 10-yard start is a 10-yard sprint starting from a dead stop. So just the first 10 yards of your sprint. So when you don't have any momentum, how fast can you travel 10 yards? Whereas a fly allows you to start as far back as you want, so 20, 30 yards, whatever lets you create the most momentum, and it measures how fast you can cover 10 yards at full speed, really, is with momentum. The pro shuttle is also called the 5-10-5 shuttle. So you're in the middle of 2 cones that are 10 yards apart. You run 5 yards to the right, touch the ground. You run across through the middle, 10 yards all the way back to the other cone, touch the ground with your left hand, and then you sprint through the inside. That's a good through the middle. That is a real good measurement of can you push off your left foot, can you push off your right foot. Then this last one, the truck stick, I think this is a great one for our linemen, maybe some kids that hit a growth spurt early and don't have they haven't really grown into their body yet and gotten the speed. But the truck stick is a momentum score. It's basically yards per second times your body weight. So you take your 10-yard fly time, right? And you go 10 divided by your fly time to give you your yards per second. And then you multiply that by your body weight. So someone who has an amazing 10-yard fly, but they're 70 pounds, maybe the kid who's 110 pounds, runs a slower fly, but their truck stick score because of their body weight, multiplying it, is a lot higher. So what it measures is basically your collision ability, or your contact ability. So that 10-yard fly kid the smaller kid who gets a great 10-yard fly time might be able to run away from the bigger kid better. But if they had to run towards each other, the bigger kid might have an advantage based on that truck stick. So overall, I definitely recommend Tully. I've just seen a lot of coaches that are looking for ways to fill that practice a little bit better. We're always looking for ways to make these kids a little more confident, and we can't always promise that by giving them the position they want or the playing time they want. But we can give them a clear showing that we care about them. We care about your health. We love watching you get faster. We love watching you get stronger and move better. And I think it's a great way for the parents and coaches to be on the same page too, because there is obviously a natural conflict there. There's horror stories all day about parents and coaches. So the more everybody's on the same page, taking care of these kids better. And that's a reason for looking into this. So I hope that helps. And if you ever want to reach out, it's at Coach Jack Byrne at Gmail for my email. So at Coach Jack Byrne, Coach Jack Byrne at gmail.com. And then anything social media is at Coach Jack Byrne. Reach out, and hopefully we can set you up and you can see if it's a good fit for your youth program. All right, guys, thanks a lot.